Hello and welcome to another episode of Watching in the Spirit with Brandon. I've been noticing a lot lately that in advertising they're really pushing this homosexual agenda. And it baffles me. It's like, I never used to remember seeing, even one homosexual commercial. But now it's like they're just everywhere. I mean, I'm serious. It's not just, I'm not blowing this out of proportion. I'm just like, wow, everywhere. It's really an agenda. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and play y'all the newest one that I've just discovered. It's a Tylenol commercial. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it here and play the video for y'all.
Norman Rockwell painted America's story for 60 plus years. When I look at the painting of Freedom from Want, that was my holiday experience with my family. Our definition of family is now expanding, so it's not this fixed picture of what the family is.
In our family, the hot pot is a great kind of metaphor.
It really does represent the bringing together of different generations and different cultures because, people get to put in what they want and they get to take out what they want. And sometimes they put in different things than they take out.
We're a family that's trying to raise our children. We just happen to be four parents trying to raise our children.
When I met Rachel and Craig, they were separated. Rachel and I started dating. And when we had Gabriel, and I thought about how the experience would be for him without a biological father, I just thought of Craig and just thought, it's going to be fine.
And we've worked hard to be the family that we are. But everybody right here is what matters.
Well, my mom, even though we didn't have very much, she always made sure that we had a great experience during the holidays. Sometimes it may not be a turkey, maybe the Cornish hens. That's why we celebrate with them. Yeah, what matters to me is my kids know that I was a good parent.
That I can leave a legacy for my children that matters to me. That there is something I can leave them, something that will live on.
America's story and the story of Norman Rockwell as an artist are inextricably linked. What matters most is family, and that's timeless.
Okay, so if you were watching along, it starts off with a woman who, by the way, is wearing a cross, unfortunately, and she's talking about, the traditional family thing, that was the thing of the past. This is what I'm getting from it, She didn't say any of this, of course. She's saying, yeah, that's a pretty picture, but, things are starting to change, and what people consider family are starting to change. And am I saying anything negative about the Asian family? No. And am I saying anything negative about the black family? No. And the sad thing is, though, is you might not have caught it, but the second family that it showed, it was two women, for sure, were together. And it says they're raising a family, the four of us. So I was trying to think about, what does she mean by this? What does she mean by the four of us? And there's two other couples there. Well, I can't really say that because that wasn't verified. But there's two other people sitting on one side together and two other on the other side. And two on one side are two men. And it almost seems like it's two homosexual men because it obviously is showing the two homosexual lesbians. But it just seems like it's showing two sets of parents there, the men parents and the women parents, but they're together. The women and the women are together, and the men are together, raising the kids in the family. And that just poses so many problems. I've seen it on YouTube already, a guy saying that he was raised by two women, and he started having tendencies to be gay because of what he was seeing. He thinks that's how it's supposed to be. Two women together and two men together. And I believe from what he was saying that they were encouraging that lifestyle in him. And I saw it also on another video I watched. Y'all may have seen me talk about it already, but I was watching Chopped, and there was this kid who was being raised by this boy who was being raised by two women, and he was acting gay, and it's like, man, this is not a good thing. This is not something we should just accept, especially if you're a Christian. That lady, if she was a true Christian, she would say, I'm not doing this video. And hopefully she didn't know about the second part, the second family, the homosexual family. Hopefully she didn't know that. But I kind of think she did, going into it. So it's just really sad that somebody would represent Jesus in that way. Because God is not for the homosexual lifestyle. He is against it. It is a sin. It says it in the Word of God. And I'm not trying to bring back Old Testament. It says it in the New Testament. And it says it in the Old Testament. Not just in the Old or not just in the New, but in both. So that should let you know that it's something serious. God calls it an abomination. It does say that in the Old Testament. But in the New Testament it says homosexuals will not be allowed to go to heaven. Now, am I saying that if you've ever done that or if you ever were a homosexual, you won't go to heaven? No, because God is love and He is forgiving. But He's not going to accept you in heaven choosing still to remain a homosexual. Oh, I don't, I'm going to live this way. This is how I'm going to do it. God, will understand. No, He's not. He's not going to make an allowance for you. He's not going to make a special case. And I know I've said this a number of times, but I'm hoping that I'll at least reach one person. Because I've also seen testimony of homosexuals who have changed and become Christian and who speak against homosexuality. So, it's possible. So that's why I'm trying to reach out to you. And if you don't believe me, go look up on YouTube, if that's the only way you have means of viewing information. But go look it up on YouTube and see the testimonies of other homosexuals who have changed from that lifestyle and who are now straight and who speak against it and say that it is a sin. Don't take my word for it. I'm straight. Don't take my word for it. Go and look at other people who have once been in that lifestyle and who have gotten out of it and know that it's a sin and know that the devil is trying to deceive them. Don't be deceived. All sin is bad. I used to be a fornicator, right? And that was mentioned in the same verse that it says homosexuals will not enter the gates of heaven. Neither will fornicators. Those who choose to remain in that lifestyle. Yes, I used to be, but I'm no longer. So you can change. Also, I want to point out, it doesn't even have anything to do with Tylenol. If you were to cut out the beginning and the end where it shows Tylenol, you would have no idea what this commercial is about. Whenever I was watching, I was like, they're not even selling the product. They're selling the agenda. The homosexual agenda. It's craziness. Anyway, I just want to do a quick vid. I got another one I'm fixing to do over another commercial. But anyway, thank you for watching. God bless.